Give me the argument, the best argument you know, for the power of cinema.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Peliculas with the Bros. My name is Adrian.
My name is Ivan.
And today we're going to discuss a movie that just came out, a movie made by the director M. Night Shyamalan. Ivan, what movie is that?
Old.
But before we get to that, let me say a few things. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching to Peliculas with the Bros, a podcast where me and my brother Ivan talk about movies and pop culture. If you wouldn't mind, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe to us on all podcast platforms. We're on pretty much every podcast platform there is. So just search Peliculas with the Bros. Peliculas is basically movies in Spanish. With that being said, Ivan, how are you doing?
I'm great.
We're recording this on a Wednesday morning. Ivan, well, I won't say that, but the movie Old came out last.
Jesus.
No, it wasn't that bad. The movie Old came out not too long ago, probably 5 or 4 days ago.
Yeah.
So it's fresh on our mind.
New but old.
It's a new movie, but it's called Old.
Yeah.
So it's funny how that works,
yeah.
where it says it's old,
Yeah.
but it's technically new.
Yeah. Dude.
That is a horrible skit, but we just did it.
Yeah.
Ivan,
Yeah.
let's talk about this movie.
Yeah.
Old. The premise of this movie: a married couple go on vacation to a tropical resort with their 2 kids. They and another family go to an isolated beach that was recommended to them by the resort's manager. Strange things begin happening at the beach as the vacationers suddenly begin aging rapidly. It is a literal race against time to figure out how to escape the beach before old age takes them all.
Indeed.
With a cast of Gael Garcia Bernal as Guy Kappa, Vicky Krebs as Priska Kappa, so they're the married couple that are the prime actors in this movie. Yeah, you can debate if they're the prime actors, but... And then their kids are played by, primarily by Alex Wolff and, I think it's Thomasin McKenzie.
Okay.
They're playing they're playing Trent Kappa, Alex Wolff as Trent Kappa, and Thomasin McKenzie. What a weird first name, Thomasin.
Mm-hmm.
She's Australian, so you know those Aussies.
Yeah.
She's playing Maddox Kappa, but it's an interesting role because since this character ages before our eyes in the screen, they're played by 3 or 4 other characters.
Yeah.
It's kind of creepy. So that's the first family. That's the Kappa family. And then we have the other family, which is played... we have Rufus Swell. I've seen him in a bunch of movies, but I don't know who he is. He plays Charles, the schizophrenic doctor. Abby Lee as Crystal, the Charles's wife. And then their kid is Kara, and that's played primarily by Eliza Scanlon.
Mm-hmm.
Scanlon. Sorry if I'm getting that wrong. And then Charles's mother, the grandma in the movie, Agnes, is played by Kathleen Chalfant.
Mm-hmm.
Then another notable couple people, we have Nikki Amuka Bird as Patricia Carmichael and Ken Leung as Jaron Carmichael. Ken Leung, he's in one of my new favorite shows on TV. I think it's called Industry, and it's on HBO. I've recommended it to Ivan, but he has yet to see it, right?
Correct.
And then there's like this rapper in this movie. His name's Mid-Sized Sedan.
Uh-huh.
What do you think about that rapper name?
I don't like it, but...
Is that like the dad M. Night Shyamalan joke? Like,
I think so.
all these rappers, they have weird names.
Yeah.
Let's call them.
It's Sedan.
And he's played by Aaron Pierre. I never seen this guy in my life.
No.
He does okay. He has like an interesting face that you're like, something's weird about this
I thought he
dude.
was going to be like the villain.
Yeah.
scenes, but it doesn't matter.
We'll get to that, Ivan. Ivan, this movie is directed by the great M. Night Shyamalan.
The infamous.
We'll talk about him really quick. So he's a director known for making thrillers. Thrillers / horrors with a twist at the end, right? Extremely successful.
Yeah.
He's made classics,
Yeah.
not so classics. He's made The Sixth Sense,
Yep.
Unbreakable Signs, The Village,
Yep.
Split, Glass. So most of his movies are critical success. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. Most of his movies make a lot of money,
Yes.
but they're not critically acclaimed. The Sixth Sense probably is. Like, that's probably his greatest
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
But his others not so much. And he's had a couple big swings and misses. The Last Airbender,
Mm-hmm.
even though it made some money, people hated it.
Yep.
And then After Earth with our boy Will Smith and his boy Jaden.
He made that?
He directed that.
I didn't know.
So big misses and big hits as well. He's criticized for having movies that follow like sort of like a formulaic structure. Not as far as the story, but more so like, a twist is always going to come at the end.
Right.
He's also criticized for having big sort of plot holes
Mm-hmm.
in his movies. I have an argument against that, and we'll get to that when we get to that. Anyways, he was sort of down on his luck after Earth and The Last Airbender. Then he came back and he made $100 million off of like $8 million dollar budget with The Visit, which was like a handheld type of movie.
Yeah.
And then he made Split, which was like $200 million out of $8 million.
Yeah.
And then they're like, all right, I think he's back. And then he made Glass, which was another big hit. So he's coming back. And one of the things that I noted is like they gave him big budgets after Sixth Sense, and he started using those big budgets, like $100 million.
Mm-hmm.
And then he hit a rut, and now they're like, all right, here's $10 million, and he's making bangers with $10 million, which is interesting.
Back to basics.
Back to basics.
Back to little boot camp. Huh.
And it's interesting too, because it's like, even himself, he's like, I can do this with $10 million.
Yeah.
That's it's cool that he's not like, I need $100 million. Something like Kanye would say, like,
Yeah.
I need, what is it? I need the industry. He used to say, he had this one rant where he's like, I need hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah. I know, but I don't.
Good on M. Night Shyamalan for not doing this. And now he has this new movie called Old.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to watch it, Ivan. And we watched it.
Mm-hmm.
The movie's based off of a graphic novel that he read. And he's like, I like this premise. Let me make it a movie. We'll get into the movie shortly after this shortly break. Old. The movie came out this past weekend. I went to go watch it at the AMC Fashion Valley here in San Diego, California. Ivan, where did you watch it?
La Jolla.
Did you pay a ticket and
I got AMC A-list stubs free $24 a month, and this was my first movie.
let's talk about AMC stubs. 3 movies per week
Yeah.
for $24.
Yeah.
Makes sense if you're gonna go
Twice
twice.
a month, which is doable.
Doable now, right?
Yeah.
But that Delta, man, that Delta variant is trying to.
Try its best, but I am strong.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about Corona. Cool. AMC stubs. I used to have it too when the pandemic wasn't happening. It's a good value. You end up watching a bunch of movies, and it's an easy thing. Like once you have it, you're like, okay, it enables you to go to the movie theaters. immediate thoughts about the movie Old.
Before I watched?
Yeah, sure. What were you thinking going into watching the movie Old?
I thought it was gonna be bad. I thought it was gonna be bad. I thought it was like, I don't know, just cringy from the trailer.
The trailer gave you cringe vibes?
Yeah, like out of ideas sort of thing.
So did you think M. Night Shyamalan's last couple movies were good?
Yeah,
Split and Glass?
but I thought I was like, oh, time for a miss. Sort of
He
thing.
was due.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was it.
I was going into it thinking that it was going to be at least okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't expecting anything too crazy. The fact that it's M. Night Shyamalan makes me feel like at least I'll feel a certain way.
Uh-huh.
Like I'll,
Divisive.
yeah. And it won't leave me saying like, all right, that was the most boring movie ever.
Right.
Yeah, and I did like Split and I like Glass. I like Split more than Glass.
Uh-huh.
I felt like Glass was a little too heavy-handed. Just like, okay, here we go. Samuel L. Jackson as a superhero.
Yeah.
And I do, another thing I like about M. Night Shyamalan now is that I think he has this idea that he's going to create like a universe. Like he's like, I have my universe.
When this movie was ending, I was like, how is this going to connect to...
Yeah, I did too.
Like, I thought it was going to go that direction
Yeah.
in some way.
And it still might.
Yeah, I guess.
They just don't do it like overtly.
Yeah.
Anyways, after watching it, what'd you think about the movie?
I mean, like halfway through, I was like, this is not enjoyable. Like in a bad movie sort of way. Like I just wanted to go home.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But
Wait. What's the direct feeling underneath that? Like, what's making you feel like it's
I didn't think it was gonna get better because it felt like kind of cringy in a bad way. Not like scary cringy, but like kind of weird,
corny.
dialogue. Yeah.
It just didn't feel real enough.
Yeah.
And
I was like, I was looking at the time. I was just over it.
God.
But had to stick through.
And
It was good. It pulled through with like being closer to a horror thriller.
okay. Okay, yeah, I see that.
Where it was like more like substance instead of like corny dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I was like, okay, this still sucks, but in a good way.
I feel like I see your takes. We'll elaborate on them in a bit. I did think while watching it, I was very entertained. I thought it was good. I was at the movie theater, and that felt good. Watching the movie in the movie theaters. I did have this feeling while watching it throughout, just like that this was a gross movie.
Mm-hmm.
Not in quality senses, but more so the direct feeling it gave me.
Yeah.
I just felt this like, I don't know if it was dread. I don't know if like the concept was just like creeping me out. But even though it wasn't scary, I just felt gross while watching it.
It's a new horror, huh?
Yeah.
That's the vibe now for horror.
Yes. Yeah, I guess you can describe it similar to Midsommar.
Yeah.
Not as intense. Midsommar definitely gave me the creepiness vibes way more.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the things that does that is that like you're on a beach and everything should be good, but you know it's not. I think that's one of the things. Another thing that sort of creeped me out was like the idea of like these kids in adult bodies. I think that was sort of disgusting in a good way.
Yeah.
Like
morally or something.
Yeah, like morally, I shouldn't be watching these kids grow up.
Yeah.
And I just saw them as like 5-year-old, and now they're like teenagers, adults, creeping me out. I don't know. I think to your point of it being cringy, I can see why you say that, because I think it's another thing that Shyamalan gets accused of being sort of this guy that makes these stories that are unbelievable,
Mm.
where you have to suspend your disbelief.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of movies do that, and they don't get criticized for it. Like, obviously, we have superhero movies, we have horror movies that are like based on magic and all these kind of things. But I think what's happening with Shyamalan is that his dialogue isn't good enough
Yeah.
to persuade you that it's a believable concept. One of the things I'm thinking about is like they directly say, some of the actors directly say what's going on to explain like the phenomenon that's happening.
Yeah.
And you're just like, how are you just pulling this from your head like that? All of this is happening. It's like, oh, so we're aging because the rocks must be doing something to us. It's causing this weird psychological effect. And you're like, it's sort of heavy-handed, you know?
Yeah.
You want more nuance to it.
Yep.
How you do that, I guess that's the difficulty of being a screenwriter and a director. That's where they get paid the big bucks.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, given that it's a movie, I did put myself in a moment of like, okay, stop like dissecting this movie, Adrian, and just enjoy it. Suspend your disbelief. You are watching something fantastical. Just have fun. And I was able to. I didn't have that feeling like, okay, when is the movie gonna end? Halfway through. Let's see. What else? The themes of this movie. I think one of the big ones is like, yes, this is a thriller, mystery, horror, body horror, whatever. But I think the main message that Shyamalan's trying to drive down your throat is live in the moment.
Yeah.
We see that throughout. So the characters in this movie with Guy and Priska, the married couple, they are opposite sides of the spectrum. And it's funny how they say it. So Guy, that's the character's name, Guy, the husband, he's always thinking of what's next. And Priska's always thinking of the past. And this causes conflict between them. And even this is sort of heavy-handed because, like, they outright say that in the movie. Where it's better for us to interpret, like, oh, he's always thinking ahead. They actually had to say that out loud, which was sort of off-putting for me as character development goes. And then Priska's like, she's in this dilemma where A, she has cancer, and B, she's cheating on her husband.
Twofer.
The good old twofer.
Yep.
And this is causing the dilemma of like them not enjoying the moment, and also the dilemma of them not enjoying marriage at all. But it all comes to a head as they're getting older, and the resolution of this, them not enjoying themselves, not enjoying the moment, not being with each other in the moment, it gets resolved by basically them getting old at this beach. So old that they're forgetting time itself. They're forgetting why they're even arguing in the first place. And they look at each other like, why are we arguing? We should just enjoy this beach. And I think that's sort of, even though it comes off clunky throughout the whole setup, that moment where Bernal's character Guy tells his wife, like, I'm happy here with you.
Yep.
That to me was like worth the clunkiness of admission.
Yeah. That part was good.
I do like Bernal's a hell of an actor, and I didn't feel enough from him in this movie. Like, you would expect this like Oscar nominated actor to be hitting it out of the park. But I don't think he's given enough chances.
I think it's more the writing, because I felt it during that scene, because he was just like looking at his son. He's like,
yeah,
he was just happy,
yeah,
like proud. And it's like, without a word, you know?
Yep.
And that was good.
And what about Priska? She sort of felt.
She portrayed old well. She was just
Yes.
like out of it, but like happy at the same time.
Yep. I think they do well, and yeah, it goes back to the screenwriting and what they're given. I think this movie would have been better with an R rating.
Oh, was it not?
It was PG-13.
Oh.
One of the reasons I feel that way is because they don't show anything too graphic. There's a couple things that they show graphic, like a stabbing. Another part we'll talk about where a tumor gets pulled out. But I feel like a lot of the edge of the movie's taken away when you can't show certain things.
I thought it was R. Like, and I thought it was just purposely not showing it just at times.
Yeah, I think that's a deliberate decision by Shyamalan because he wants to make this a broader film.
He doesn't even have to do that anymore, I think.
What do you mean?
Do PG-13 to be broader?
Well, you technically do.
I mean, yes, but I think it could have done well enough on R.
Yeah, I mean, even if this movie, it's a weird circumstance where it's not going to be too successful because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
But even critically, it would have been a better movie. Because now there's a specific scene that I'm thinking about where they're taking out Priska's tumor that's growing at a rapid rate, and they don't show too much. They do show like them cutting into her, but they don't show anything extremely graphic.
You wanted...
Yes. And the only time you get to see the tumor is a very slim glimpse of it. Like they show it and they cut away really quick.
I was happy with what I saw. I was like, I'm good.
Exactly. But imagine if you saw more.
I wouldn't want that.
And then there's a part that in that same part, they're describing like what's happening. Like, oh my God, it's huge.
Yeah.
Can we see that instead? Or do you have to have a narrator say that?
I guess.
And then there's another part where the Kara, the daughter of one of the couples, is climbing up the rocks. And then she falls. And you sort of want to see a mangled dead body on the ground. But instead you see the expression of the son's face as he looks at his...
I would have wanted to see just like the thud from like a little bit of a distance.
Yeah.
And that would have been perfect.
Right.
And I would want to see like on the floor.
You don't want to see like Midsommar where like he jumps and you see his legs like crack. They're like splintered like pieces of wood. That was so gross. Shout out to Ari Aster. He's a king of horror right now.
Yeah.
Where were we? Rated R. So you think that was good?
I was
Leaving
happy
it PG-13?
because I thought it was rated R.
Yeah.
And I thought it was just purposely like we want to be a little bit tasteful and we don't have to show it.
Right.
For me, like the grossest scene was like the end with the girl, the bone crunching part.
Oh.
And that was I thought that made it rated R. Like I was like, oh, they really went rated R in this one.
What? No way. They didn't show anything. They just showed bones.
Yeah, but it
crumpled
was
up.
so like I was like, oh, geez.
That is a clever trick where basically this isn't a horror movie, right? Like it's a thriller. They're stuck in this island. There's no real supernatural force. But what M. Night Shyamalan does with this character, this lady that's like suffering from calcium deficiency, he makes it so that she turns into this sort of monster by like having a hunched back because she ages so fast. And it's interesting that he makes her this monster because like there is no monster. So this is his one little sort of gag to like, okay, we have this girl that her bones break easily. So let's create this scene where she's like this monster crawling towards them. I'm like,
yeah.
And that the fact that the kids were scared of her, I'm like, it's. I get that she's scared, that she's like yelling like, get over here. But it's this lady that's she's not gonna do anything to you.
She was throwing rocks.
She was throwing rocks, but then they're like in a corner.
You would have been scared too.
I know. But at that moment, you're like, come on, man.
I guess, but I was creeped out.
Yeah,
So I
it
was
is creepy.
And they're also like technically 6, even if they're like 30 something.
So how that is okay? Let's talk about that. The kids are aging. Everyone's aging. The kids start being 5 and 10 years old. Let's just say that. They're aging. Their bodies are aging. Are they aging mentally? They do say something about it, but what do you think? Are they aging mentally?
I think yeah, but they don't have like the correct tools at that age still, like mentally. Like it's like a strong PC, but has like no memory or whatever. It just has nothing to work with. So like they just have their experiences, but they're like an open canvas, but nothing in it, sort of thing.
Right. So you think okay? So I do have the same feeling where they can have these fleeting moments of like my IQ's jumping up, right? But I can't really
smart.
But I can't really understand myself either.
Yeah.
But one of the big weird parts was when Kara and what's his name again? Hold. Trent. They have a baby.
Yeah, that was weird.
And at that time, their bodies are, let's say, 15, 17.
Yeah.
Mentally, they're 6,
Yeah.
8. How does this happen? How were they?
Human nature.
How can they have sex without knowing anything about it?
I think they kind of knew, and they just accidentally fell into it. I don't know. They don't really go too deep into it.
No, they don't.
But I don't know. It's like one of those things where you gotta kind of accept it.
Yes. Suspend your disbelief.
Yeah. I think it's like in my mind, like the canon in my mind is like they had a somewhat idea, and then their raging teen hormones kind of like pushed them towards the idea.
Right.
And that's like just how it went.
Yeah.
And like luckily or unluckily, they got pregnant.
Yeah.
With just like the one.
Yeah.
I think that's like logical enough.
I think it is, yeah. Like your human instinct.
Yeah.
It's not like people tell dogs, like, all right, dogs, this is how you do it. They just do it by instinct.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, there is no dog sex training school.
That we know of.
I hear it's a big hit in Belgium.
Belgium?
There's a renowned sex dog expert out there called Wolfenheim
Oh, God.
Schnauzer.
He was born for that role, huh?
With that name, Wolfenheim and Schnauzer.
Just straight up a dog freak.
Let's see here. What else do we got about this movie? Old. Yeah, I think we can hit on like how the premise is sort of crazy. How you were thinking like, all right, this is far-fetched. One of the things other than the baby part that I'm like, okay, how is this working is the choral part.
Oh. Yeah.
Also, I don't understand like why I understand them saying like, if we try to escape through the rocks through the same way we came in, then our brains start hurting. How does the choral negate that? Did you catch that?
Yeah. I kind of think it just had some metallic properties that deflected whatever. Because I don't even know what coral is, honestly.
It's calcium, right? It's like built up like, I think it's...
I guess. But maybe like that mixed with the rock's energy, whatever. Like I was okay with just saying like, all right, sure. Because like it's already kind of crazy science in the first place.
Yeah.
Like the rocks. So you got to kind of accept it.
You're right.
Like at a point. So I wasn't like too, like, all right, this is stupid now.
Yeah. You reach that far in the film that you're like, okay, this is just another thing I have to accept.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt the same way. Let's take a quick break and then we'll talk about the twist of this film. Oh yeah, there's a twist. So in M. Night Shyamalan fashion, pulls out an old twist for us. The twist of this, I have a issue calling it twist though.
The resolution.
It is more of a resolution than a twist, right?
I don't even think it's much of a twist because you're kind of wondering what's the reason for all this. So it's just like how it ends.
Right.
It's not like some crazy, like he was dead at the end, and that kind of changes the whole perspective of the movie. This is like, an explanation of why they're doing this.
Correct. And I feel like a bigger twist wouldn't be that, because the whole time you're, like you said, you're trying to understand what's going on. You sort of have an idea of what's happening because of how everything was set up, who took them to this spot, who set it up. So you're like, okay, I have an idea that it's the hotel's part of it. The resort's like sort of controlling this. A real twist at the end would be that no, the hotel had nothing to do with it. It's actually like the little kid that was saying, no, don't go.
Ew.
I don't know. Like he had a weird
Yeah, he had something.
He had like a frown.
Yeah.
The whole time.
Yeah.
Is that like a deficiency and I'm making fun of him?
I hope it is and you feel bad.
Yeah, because I won't feel bad. But the twist, I guess you can say, is that yes, the resort had everything to do with it. And the concept is that this beach that makes people age quickly is a great way to test out new drugs.
Yeah. Because
these drugs can be tested rapidly on humans and experimented on. And that way they can save more people than they actually hurt. Because this is for the good of humanity, like they always say. Isn't that the concept of Glass as well?
I don't really remember Glass.
At the end, they're like, we're going to keep this a secret.
Yeah.
Because people shouldn't know that there's special people out there.
Yeah.
And then they actually accidentally like leak that. So now everyone knows. So this is the same thing. Now the police know there's this weird experiment. That's how it's going to all twist up in this universe of Shyamalan.
It's a moral dilemma.
Would you want to go to M. Night Shyamalan amusement park?
What would it be? Just a beach?
It's going to be a beach where you can see like people age in front of you, like virtually.
Oh, God.
No, that's a ride. It's like you go on a ride and there's people coming out that like are aging all of a sudden.
That sounds horrible.
And then there's the Sixth Sense ride where like there's just ghosts.
This is the worst.
And then Bruce Willis comes out at the end and is like, I'll protect you. And he does like fires. He has like powers like,
Yeah.
And then Split. That would be, it's like a little like maze. And then who's that character?
The Beast.
Professor X?
The Beast.
The Beast?
I think it's like Beast.
But no, McAvoy?
Yeah.
What's his name?
I don't know.
James McAvoy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's his name. He comes out and he's like, "Rawr!" And then in another room, he's like the girl, hello.
I could see that. Like you're in like a Pirates of the Caribbean sort of ride.
Yeah.
You see like the animatronic beast dude like growling at you.
Yes.
You go past it. It's the little girl version.
Yes.
That's stupid.
And then what's another horrible movie Signs. There's aliens. I never seen Signs completely.
No.
I remember when that movie came out, it was one of those like, it was immediately parodied. Everyone was like talking about it. Everyone was making fun of it. It was the tip of the zeitgeist.
Okay.
Not a big zeitgeist movie, but it was part of it. Yeah. Let that pause sink in. Ivan, this movie made $16 million in the box office this past weekend.
Okay.
I doubt that it's gonna hit 100 million. Probably 75 max.
Probably. I hope the executives realize the situation this movie came out in, and they're not like, I guess that's it for Shyamalan.
So, well, that's my question though. Like, this movie came out only in movie theaters.
Yeah.
It had no real buzz to it, I would say.
I think I have to wait until I see like a proper only theater release where it's like big budget sort of thing,
Uh-huh.
and like where it should be a blockbuster. Maybe the Suicide Squad is that movie, but I don't know because they're Warner Brothers, and that might just go to HBO Max too.
But my thing is that that's fine for blockbusters.
Yeah,
This movie isn't a blockbuster. It's made on like a 10 million budget, you know?
but they always want like money.
No, sure, but how do you make a movie successful this year that isn't a Marvel or a DC movie? Cuz that's the real fear, I think, where like all these indie directors or directors that aren't working on big budget movies, how are they going to see success this year?
I think it's gonna be every year from this point on, where it's gonna be hard to get that $8 million budget movie into 100 million, because people would just want to see Iron Man 25.
But it wasn't. It was just 2 years ago where Shyamalan makes Glass for 20 million.
We're in a different time now,
It
Adrian.
makes 200 million.
Theaters are dying. People are staying at home.
So you're saying
I think it's changed in a permanent way.
So you're saying if there was no such thing as the pandemic this year, this movie would make a little bit more money, but not. It wouldn't be a Glass.
No such thing. I think it would have made a good amount of money, but if it released in like 5 or however years, it would be in the same situation.
Gotcha.
I think it was inevitable for theaters to go this way.
Gotcha. I also think that this movie didn't have a big enough pool, just in terms of like the plot, that let's say a Split or a Glass did to pull in that much money.
Yeah. Maybe like they needed one big face, because this movie doesn't really have anything.
No, it has Bernal, but
He's not a big face.
he's not a big money maker.
Yeah.
He's more of a great actor than anything.
Hopefully, maybe word of mouth, because I would tell people to watch this, if anything, to like as a joke. At
Right.
worst.
Well, I think that's what happened with Split too. Like Split wasn't supposed to be. I mean, obviously they're trying to make a shitload of money.
Yeah.
But it ended up being a humongous movie for the budget it had. And I think that just goes to like, it's sort of a great premise of like this schizophrenic person and a great actor that bulked up for the role that looks great. You know, it's sort of like a horror / superhero movie. So I think the premise worked. Yeah, it could have done better with the Brad Pitt as Bernard's character, but
Brad Pitt, Kate Blanchett, just
stop with the Kate Blanchett.
knock it out of the park. Have Timothy Chalamet as the boy.
Oh God,
Zendaya as the sister.
you're just overdoing it now.
That would have honestly sold a lot, but it's too like, all right,
it would have cost a lot too.
Worth it.
That would have been $100 million movie. You need a bad guy in this too.
I guess, but the bad guy wasn't even in it that much.
Well, the bad guy was the doctor, basically.
I guess, but it's more like I felt bad for him more than anything.
Yeah, he had sympathy for his plight.
Yeah.
Who should have played him?
I was okay with all of them.
I know, but you're saying that Brad Pitt and all these people.
Well, that's just for the money.
I know, for the money.
Oh.
Who's gonna be Charles, the schizophrenic doctor?
I don't know. Because I really liked who played him. Like he was kind of like cocky, but cool
Yeah.
sort of thing. Like I don't know who's that, but with
Leonardo
money.
DiCaprio.
It's too
He's
much.
too pretty.
Yeah,
He's too pretty.
it's too late. All right, you just got him for the face.
John Hamm.
I don't know. I mean, I'm biased.
I know. That's why I used it.
Nah, I like the dude.
Jack Black.
Okay, you're making jokes now.
No, he would
You're
be good.
making jokes now.
I see what you're doing. You take me for a fool.
A little bit.
Let's reward this movie, Ivan, for what it is. Let's give it some awards.
Oh, okay.
What's the best scene? Want to go?
Yeah.
I think one of the better scenes is when Trent and Kara come out and they show that Kara's pregnant.
Oh yeah.
Because they're in a tent talking to each other.
I kind of laughed at that part. Like,
Everyone laughed at the theater.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It wasn't like a ha-ha laugh, but it was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, baby. She's prego.
At first, I wasn't like, I was in shock. Because I
Yes.
wasn't like, no way she's pregnant. Something,
Uh-huh.
like, I was just like looking at her like, no,
Yeah.
no. Because like what it meant, right?
Yeah.
But that was a good scene.
Yeah. And I think more of that would have been cool. Just like
Yeah.
human nature, sort of like psychological body horror,
Yeah.
stuff like that. It was good. I think when Kara tries to escape was a good scene.
Mm-hmm.
She tries to escape by climbing the wall. And it's great because Trent loves her already. He's like, no, come down, please. But he's still a little kid.
Yeah.
So he's like sobbing like a little baby.
Uh-huh.
And just the setup of like her like going up all the way up and then just falling to her death. And then Trent crying at her feet like, no. Trent, he's from
Everything. Hereditary.
Hereditary.
Yeah.
He's such a weird guy.
He was a child actor on Nick.
Really?
Yeah. You wouldn't know the show, but he
Tell me.
was
Just test me.
the Naked Brothers band.
Love it.
You don't
I love
know
that.
it. You
Yeah.
don't know it.
Watched every damn episode. That Michael character, he's very deliberate in his actions.
Hate you.
Is there a Michael in it?
I don't know.
Damn it. I think the best scene is when Guy and Priska reconcile at the very end.
Yeah.
Uh,
Because
They-
there's a lot of good scenes for different reasons. It depends like what you wanted to see out of the movie.
yeah.
Because like that could be like the best scene. I was thinking the bone crunching scene at the end, just because of like
The horror fans love that scene.
yeah.
Yep.
Because it was well done and they like committed to it.
And they set it up in the beginning
Yeah.
with her saying that she has a deficiency
Yeah.
and all the way to that. And her being the girl that's like all about her beauty, you know?
Yeah.
And then turning out to be like the ugliest, hideous one.
I think that was a little too like
Yeah. I tried to get away with
a
that.
little like how much she loved her beauty and how it's like, don't look at me. I'm
Yeah.
a monster. And
Yeah.
It was too like
That was like a Disney
yeah.
witch type
yeah,
of thing.
Yeah. Like it was like good, like the character overall and how it was like her reasoning for everything, but like just one or two lines less of her being like, I'm a monster.
Don't look at me.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I what hit home was Guy and Priska being old,
Yeah.
looking at each other. I love you. Them dying. Them also looking at their kids and like being proud, like you said.
Yeah.
That was a great scene. Very good overall. Who won this movie, Ivan? Who'd you come away with like maybe not so much MVP, maybe not so much like anything. Just who was the best thing about the movie?
I think Guy, the dude's actor.
Interesting. Okay.
I don't know. It was hard to choose. Like, you can't really pick the kids because they're like 5 different actors.
I picked the kid.
You monster.
I picked
Which one?
the teenage Trent. I think he just does the most.
I don't know. I just feel like He was kind of like the clickbait sort of actor because they wanted the Hereditary kid, and they see that, and people are like, I understand what type of movie this is.
Right.
He was good, but I don't know. I just liked the dad by then the most. Like, he's the one I'm gonna remember.
Yeah. Yeah, he was my second. I just didn't want to say him because it was obvious.
It's obvious because it's true.
Damn it, Ivan. You don't have to be so fact-based.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's okay. You're forgiven.
I'm sorry.
Just know that when I go to sleep tonight, I'll
Uh-huh.
think of you.
All right.
I was trying to pull a Pete Campbell.
What scene?
Any scene.
Okay.
Oh, man. Let's rate this movie, Evan. We rate movies
1 ticket, 2 ticket, 3 ticket, 4 ticket, 5 ticket.
1 through 5. 5 tickets being the biggest one. Masterpiece.
Huh.
1 ticket being poop show. Poop in your mouth. Diarrhea all over the canvas. Ivan, how many tickets do you give this movie?
I give it 3.5 tickets.
Nice. I give it 3 tickets.
You racist scum of the earth.
It's crazy that
Trash.
it started halfway for you where you're like, this movie's trash. I want to go home.
Yeah.
Then it fully redeemed itself for you. 3.5, huh?
I mean, I came into it with just like bad mood. Like, I was not a happy camper.
You spit on everyone you saw
Pretty much.
in their face.
Because I was also, it was like the first time I went to the movies in forever.
You're horrible.
So I was like,
Loosen
I
up.
don't know. Oh, what I did. You trash baggio. And then the dialogue was just a little too like, it's a movie. And then halfway through when I was actually getting into it, it changed into like, you can fall into it
Yeah.
sort of thing. That's when I was, all right, I get it. It's at worst like a cult classic, I feel.
Yeah. It definitely has one of those vibes of like, I'm never going to watch this again. But when I do, I'm going to be like, damn, remember that movie?
Yeah.
For me, 3 out of 5 because I'm being honest. And then at the theaters, I felt like this is a great movie.
Yeah.
Like, I'm being dumb right now, and I'm loving this movie.
Uh-huh.
Taking a critical look at it. It's a good movie. It's not the greatest. It's not bad. It's good.
I think just like little tweaks with the dialogue and then some weirdness with how characters acted at times, even though they're like in a weird situation.
Right.
It would have fixed it like a whole point
Yeah.
or whatever, whole ticket stub.
1 ticket stub up. That's a high echelon.
Yeah.
What did we rate the last movie? Space Jam.
Like 2.
2? Yeah. Okay. Hey, at least you're better than Space Jam.
Not tough.
Oh.
It's so weird how different like this to that was. Like,
Yeah.
that was like, obviously a horror is going to be different from a kids movie, but it's like pure money on one side and then pure like a film on the other, you know?
Yeah. It's the beauty of art.
Yeah.
Or you could say it's the difference between art and consumerism.
Yeah.
I think it's the latter for that, actually.
Yeah.
Well, that was old for you, for your butts. We rated old. Next week we're gonna watch what movie, Ivan? Okay.
I don't know.
That was a very interesting choice that you just did.
You picked on me at the worst moment.
The movies that are to our disposal. You ready, Ivan?
Yeah.
We have Jungle Cruise. Stillwater. Have you heard of that movie?
Sounds familiar. I saw the posters when I was walking out.
Matt Damon.
Yeah.
And The Green Knight.
I think that should be it.
The Green Knight, it is. An A24 film. You can always trust an A24 to make something good. Starring Dev Patel.
Yeah.
And it's a fantasy action, maybe something more.
Sounds like it.
The Green Knight, we're excited. Next week.
Mm.
We'll take a quick break and we'll talk about random things about this week. Ivan, it's time for a section we like to call
Things and such.
Good job. Good job. Ivan, anything you're watching?
Finished Succession rewatch.
Ah, nice. So that's third?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you caught up to my third one.
Yeah.
What'd you come away thinking? Are you hyped?
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Yep.
Like I don't know what I was doing the last two times, but this time I was like, this is a good show.
Yep. Everything started clicking, right?
Yeah.
Big takeaway after watching it, other than you're ready for the next season?
I don't know. Like there's just so much to resolve, and like it could go in so many directions, which is like super good. Just like such a good show, and so funny at times.
Yeah.
Like the scene where he's interviewing that one, not interviewing, but asking his coworker Tom to like this Hitler dude, and he's like asking him like,
Oh, yeah.
why'd you name your dog Blondie? Oh, it's different spelling. He's like,
Yeah.
spelling, huh?
Like subtle humor.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Tom is just like does it so perfectly.
Yeah.
It's just juicy.
Who's your favorite character still? Or now?
I think Tom, just because it's so. Every time I see him, he's just funny.
Yeah.
In his way. Maybe Kendall's second, just because like
Who he
see
is.
so much in him. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what he's done, what he can do. It's like this guy's gonna be a monster, but like in a good way, or
Yeah.
maybe like a bad way. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably in a bad way. Like that's how I could see it going towards the end. And then Greg, he's just like, it's funny to see his growth from like at that last episode, he was like, I don't really like this rosé. It's not really my favorite. And
Like
it's
he's
also-
already formulating ideas of like what he likes.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you're supposed to be dumb.
yeah.
Even Tom's like, you like things? Like you
have
think
a
things are
palate now?
you think things are good and bad?
You can't help but notice.
Yeah, that's funny.
Oh, and then there's the scene. They're like at Congress or whatever, and they're talking to Tom. He's like, you sent Greg 67 emails in the same hour of you saying you can't break, or you have to break a few Gregs to make a Tomlet or something. So he's like, I suppose it's a joke. It's so good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited for Succession. It's gonna be good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm rewatching Mad Men.
You sick, beautiful man.
It's fun. It's so fun.
I was thinking like Succession's like a modern Mad Men, if you think about it, because they're like both executive corporate level stuff.
Yeah.
And like the problems of back then were like sexism, and this problems of this one is like one like the repercussions of Mad Men era sort of stuff, and new money,
right?
I guess,
and
just
family dynamics.
Yeah, it's like a sequel.
Because Mad Men didn't have too many family dynamics in as far as like in the office.
Yeah,
this takes it to a different level. It's like Jesus Christ, do not go in business with your family.
Yeah, it's good.
What else? Anything else you're watching?
No.
I watched this. There's this show. It's a kids show called Centaur World.
Okay.
It's coming out on Netflix, but it's like a kids show the way.
Adventure Time.
Yeah, because like there's adult humor in it, and they show butts a lot, and I'm like, oh, this is interesting how far they go. But I love the animation style and the character design, and I looked up who created it, and it's this chick. I forgot her name. Sorry. Do I have it here? Oh yeah, I do. Megan Nicole Dong. And she started as a cartoonist and an animator, but like if you check out her Instagram, she has like the designs of the characters like from years back, and she just makes comics, and they're fun, like they're funny little drawing comics. I'm like, oh, that's a awesome way of like getting in the industry, just like starting as like a cartoonist, drawing your own thing, and then like 5 years later, you have your own show on Netflix.
It was like she was working her way up. Like she had this idea, and she just committed.
Yep. and it's hilarious. Like her comics, like just like subtle, random human humor.
Yeah.
It's good. The show's gonna come out this week, but I saw the first episode on YouTube. Movie and TV news, Ivan. Ghostbusters trailer. Did you see it?
Nope.
Really it has Stranger Things vibes. It's just crazy how Stranger Things just took over the damn thing. Like, all right, let's take one of the characters from Stranger Things and put him in a movie.
Pass him around.
Pass him around, baby.
Piece of meat.
They should use the one without teeth. Who's him? What's?
I don't know, but I don't really want to see him.
Come on, bring him out. It's his turn.
We saw him at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
So embarrassing.
I don't know. It's because human nature is so weird, man. What are you supposed to do to a little kid that's more popular than you? Like, hi, my name's Adrian. I love your show.
I just recognized him. I never watched the show, but it was just like interesting to see like a kid actor. It was just like, what the heck?
Yeah.
You shouldn't be real.
They announced a live action Pokemon show coming to Netflix.
Isn't it like Netflix, I choose you?
I don't know. Netflix, I choose you. What the heck?
That's what I read, but I thought that was weird. I didn't look into it at all.
No, I don't think it's that.
Maybe that was just like the headline.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. That's sort of interesting, right? So it's like Detective Pikachu
Yeah.
esque. Detective Pikachu was really good, honestly. Like the kind of humor, its concept, it was so strange.
Yeah.
That's one of those movies that like should be one of those a horrible movie that becomes a cult classic, but now it's just like a good movie.
Yeah. I'll probably never watch it again.
I watched it twice, so there goes that.
Thud.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah, I'll probably never watch it again.
You said, but.
Oh, I did?
Yeah.
Okay, I might as well finish it. I have the reins.
You do. Take them.
But, I don't know. Like, I don't remember the plot really. Well, I mean, I do, but it's like basic. Like, it was good. It was a serviceable movie sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm glad it was made because it's like, it makes money. We could get more Pokemon movies, but it was also kind of safe. I don't know. I just wanted more.
Safe? You have Ryan Reynolds talking
I want.
You don't even know what that means, though.
I want. Can I tell you what I want?
Yeah.
What I really, really want?
Spice Girls.
I want like a gym sort of Pokemon League movie where it's like, I know it'll be hard to do 8 badges and 4 gym battles, but something, maybe like
a trilogy. It can be a trilogy.
Something like that. That would be something.
How is that something? Like, it's still basic.
But I want more just like Pokemon fights.
So you want an action movie more than...
Yeah.
It wasn't action, though.
But I want like visceral. I want like...
So maybe this is the show.
Maybe. Because for me, like Pokemon, what I love is the fights and the imagination I had, like making like how it was in the little video games.
Gotcha. Did you like the Pokemon original show?
I mean, yeah, but I don't watch it anymore.
I started watching the first episode the other day. It's more about like friendship than anything.
Shut up.
Okay.
Thank you. It is, but he also wanted to be the best, and it's always.
I want to be the very best, the best that ever was. Be the best. Be the best. The best shit I had in that, right?
Yeah.
How real I try to go.
Yeah.
That's the sad part.
Oh, God.
Pokemon.
No.
What a franchise, man.
A behemoth.
I think it's the biggest franchise. I think that's like an actual thing. It's the biggest franchise ever. It's bigger than Star Wars, bigger than Marvel. Jesus Christ, man.
Not to go on a tangent, but to go on a tangent.
Let's go on it.
Like, it is the biggest, But it's weird how like their most recent games are not good.
Yeah, they are.
They're not, Adrian.
The ones on the Switch?
They're not. If you compare them, like objectively,
That's not what IGN says.
IGN is a bunch of liars that are paid by big Pokemon corporations.
There's a bunch of corporations that are Pokemon that are huge.
It's maybe in a vacuum. It's like good, but like they have a lot less features and a lot less good story compared to like past Pokemon games. So if you're literally playing each one, it's like you're not getting, the only thing that gets better is
The graphics.
technically.
Yeah.
And there's like arguments where people are saying like after it went 3D, the heart is gone.
Right.
Because like it's hard to translate 2D Pokemon or characters into 3D without losing its heart
Yeah.
or whatever. And there's arguments about that.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter what you choose, but for me, I like just the adventure and how like you could kind of branch out in. I know it was kind of like a set linear path, but it didn't feel like that.
Right.
These newer ones are like you feel the path,
Uh-huh.
and it's just bad. And it's weird how this $1 billion franchise isn't shooting out 10 out of 10s easily.
Well, Pokemon Go is the biggest thing ever, right?
Yeah, but that was horrible at the start.
Yeah.
Like, a lot less features than it should have had.
Yes. Well, they had to start small because it's a crazy ass concept. Like,
It could have taken years, and then
no, you can't do that.
Why not?
Because you don't make money.
I mean, obviously,
And you have to be the first to market.
was another Pokemon Go
Well,
gonna come out?
if they didn't make it as simple as possible, they can't make it as big as it is now.
I see that.
You can't just say, like, we have this grand concept, but first we have to add all the features, and it's going to take 5 years and all this infrastructure, and we don't know if it's going to work. No, start small and work your way up.
I see that. But I don't know. It should have been better.
And now it's got, like, that sort of rejuvenated it. That was the big rejuvenation point.
Of Pokemon?
Yeah. Pokemon Go hit
You
another...
racist?
What? Hit another level when it came out, and all the little kids and all the adults got their nostalgia fix.
Well, actually,
And then another hit was the pandemic,
yeah.
where the cards went up in value, and that's the whole thing again.
Yes. Yes.
Cycles, baby.
Yes, but also Pokemon Go is partly responsible for the dumbing down of current Pokemon, because Pokemon Go is like super simple, like super simple. You just go pick it up, and you didn't battle at the start of Pokemon Go. You would just battle like gyms, and it would be your Pokemon like throwing rocks
Right.
without your say. It
Yeah,
just,
yeah, yeah.
Throws
Yep.
rocks. And then because of that, they released Let's Go Pikachu and
Yep.
Eevee, and like that was like it could be for kids, so it's like leave it as is. You can't really complain. But then they kind of stuck closer to that with the Switch games, the mainline Switch games.
Yep.
Instead of going back to
Basics that are more complex.
like the linear sort of
Uh-huh.
like get better, bigger, better, bigger, better,
Yeah.
etc. It just stuck got closer to Pokemon Go than actually evolving.
So you're saying it sucks that quality-wise they haven't risen past their prime, which was 10 years ago, 15 years
Not
ago?
only that it sucks, it's like almost illogical why it's not like absolutely 10 out of 10, like $1 billion? Billions? They can't afford like something more?
It's not that it's a horrible game, though. They are making good games. just not as good as you would expect it. Because they're not 6s or 7s. They're at least 8s, right?
I mean, it's tough to do it without. It's tough to look at it without what I already know, which is like the past games.
Yeah.
It's like maybe in a bubble, it's like an 8, but I don't think it's really right to look at it in a bubble with how many Pokemon games there already are.
Right. It's hard for me to talk about it because I've never played the newer games.
Right.
I went up to like Silver? No, I went to like Sapphire.
Yeah.
That's how far I got.
Yeah. It's sad.
A little,
like,
your little rant right there.
Yeah. It's just the illogicness of it.
Yeah. It's going to keep happening. Pokemon Go makes money. It makes them the cash cow, so.
Yeah.
Ivan, your boy Kanye didn't drop an album.
He's taking his time. August 6th is the new release date. It's going to be great. Questions?
It's not going to be good.
You're wrong, but that's okay. Everyone is.
I hate Justin LeBoy.
Oh, I know. No, you know.
I barely know anything about him, but I hate that he's like Kanye album. He's like the academics.
Yeah.
He's like Playboy Cardi academics. No, we have this guy and Kanye. I'm like, get the hell out of here.
I have some sympathy for him and his cohorts. But like what I'm thinking is like Kanye is like, yeah, it's coming out soon. And they hear that and they're like, it's coming out soon. And then they tweet it out. And then Kanye's like, I don't know. I need another week.
Right.
And they're like left
Yeah.
to hang. But it's kind of like their own fault. They should have just shut the heck up. And
I think Kanye just like, yeah. Well, he tells them, and then now he has this new exclusive. It's like what you said. It's like what you said, but he doesn't really care.
Yeah.
The boy doesn't really care. This is a way for him to get people looking at him.
But like this has been a common occurrence with like LeBoy level
People?
collaborators with Kanye, where they're like C or D list compared to C or D list on like Kanye's like Who Matters. Like they're no Kid Cudi or Pusha T, and they know better to say anything.
Right.
But since they like just started working with him, and Kanye doesn't really care what they do as long as they don't leak his music, and like they're just messing themselves up by trusting whatever Kanye says and then saying anything. Like it's only gonna bite them because now everyone's gonna hate them, and all they're gonna be known for is like being
The news.
the Kanye tumor during that release.
The conduit.
Yeah.
Untrustworthy conduit.
It's like it's a weird comparison, but Drake and what's that one writer he had that is his own person, but wrote a lot of his stuff during like Meek Mill's time. Do you know who I'm talking about?
No.
Well, you have like a writer who is also like a rapper, but like not a big rapper. He's just more of a writer. But now like that he released an album like a year ago or whatever.
Oh, you're talking about the guy that he copied. The ghostwriter.
Yes.
I thought you meant writer as like a journalist.
Oh no.
Yes, I know who you're talking about.
But now all he's known as is Drake's
That guy. Yeah.
writer.
Yep.
Ghostwriter.
Yep.
And that's all he's ever going to be known as, no matter what he does. Unless he releases some crazy album.
Yes.
But now that's it. That's his life. And that sucks. And that's not Justin LeBoy and all those miscreants.
I don't think the album was coming the 6th.
You're wrong, but you're probably not. But
I'm not excited either.
I just think if it comes out, it's going to be good. But I don't know. He's like sleeping at the stadium.
He's a weird man.
It's so weird. It's only an artist.
Luckily, Kanye's done a lot of things in his past life, so I'm like, I have to give him something.
Yeah.
If this was like like if this was anyone that hasn't released one album or two albums, then I would just be like, I'm out of here.
It's just so weird. Like any other artist, you'd be like, this is weird. Kanye does it like
Genius.
his process, I guess.
Oh God.
So funny.
Anything else? Any other music?
No. Still waiting for Drake.
Um,
Weekend teasing something.
Everyone's teasing. Travis Scott, Young Thug, they're
You
all
know-
teasing. They're not gonna come out until another month.
Every time Travis speaks now, I feel like he's trying to sell me something.
Yeah, that's how it's been the past 2 years though. Because
But,
he
like,
he is.
It's so bad now. Like, I just assume if he's like doing anything, like, oh, what's the merch? What's he selling to? What?
Yep.
How's he gonna take my money?
Yep.
But I don't feel that with any other artist. It's just so bad with him.
Well, it's made him probably the fifth richest rapper. So, but he lost his integrity. So
Why don't they stop? Like, would that happen to me if I'm going that trajectory?
no, but you aren't a person that values money as much as other people. So it's a illogical comparison.
How dare you? I wanna get rich for fun, but like
To test what you would
like
do.
ironically, like, you know, like just see like what it's like. Get like stupid rich. See what it does. Like an experiment.
You will be messed up.
It'll be
Stupid
fun.
rich would be, it'll mess your mind up.
That sounds fun.
You have to. That's why you have to gradually do it,
Nah. I think
or secretly do
I
it.
can take it.
The secret rich is the best rich. It's like you walk into any place and you're worth 80 million, but no one knows. That's the feeling that you want. You don't want to walk into somewhere and everyone knows you're worth 80 million.
Dang it, you're right.
Unfortunately.
But dang it, I'll try. I'm gonna be rich.
Rich beyond your wildest dreams.
I don't like it, but I'll do it.
All right, people. This was Peliculas with the Bros. We'll be back next week with the movie Green Knight, which we'll be watching this week. I'll be watching. I'm gonna go watch Suicide Squad tomorrow.
It's already
Early screening, free. I was gonna invite you, but you're working, so. But I'll be also watching Green Knight. Ivan, any parting words for the beautiful people?
No.
Well, we'll be back next week. My name's Adrian.
My name's Ivan.
Peace out.
Bye.